Hey guys, it is Flashwing. Welcome to another Talk Tuesday. Today, as you can clearly see, we're going to be talking about all of the super fun stuff that I use to do motovlogs and vlogs here at the Flashwing channel.
Yeah, super future.
I first want to say that today's video is inspired by a request from Sticker Bombed. Sticker Bombed is another motovlogger and a fellow YouTube creator. Today I'm going to address all of the different technical aspects of what I do here and how I produce the videos that you guys see hopefully every weekday going forward. The first thing that I want to address is the notion of gear and the part that gear plays with respect to creating content on YouTube. You can have the best camera, you can have the best drone, you can have the best microphones, you can have the best stuff that you can buy. However, if you don't know how to use it properly, if you don't know how to create engaging, dynamic content, all of that great gear is going to be completely worthless. The truth of the matter is that you can shoot an entire vlog, an entire vlog channel, and all of the stuff that you want to do on a GoPro only. And you don't need a digital SLR, you don't need a drone, you don't need a smaller, point and shoot camera. You don't need any of those things. Where I think that getting the gear in addition to the GoPro comes into play is ease of use, the ability to customize it, and overall the amount of additional capability that will give you. Every camera in and of itself is a compromise, including in price, if you factor that in. Obviously, this is a GoPro. You'll notice this is not a GoPro Hero 4. Let's talk about a few aspects about the Hero 3, why I still have this and not a 4, and how I use it. Now, the reason why I didn't go from the Hero 3 to the Hero 4 immediately is because I found 4K to be somewhat useless. 4K video sizes are much larger. 4K video in post-production is a lot harder to work with unless you have a high-powered system. There is very, very little support for 4K monitors, 4K TVs. So the only advantage that 4K would give me, and I'm just talking about myself here, all of you out there may be different, is the ability to provide zoomed in footage. So it's a higher resolution, which means that if there was something happening on camera that I wanted to zoom in on or I wanted to blow up, I could most likely do that and still stay within a 1080p format, and you have a perfectly clear picture with something that has been enlarged on the screen. But again, it's a very small subset. It's something that might happen once in a great while, and so it really wasn't, it's something I couldn't justify for a near $500 cost to upgrade to a 4+ black. So when I use the GoPro, it is 24 frames per second, 1080p. I have played around with shooting in 2.7K just so that I have a little bit higher resolution that I can downgrade, but I also tend to keep it on 1080p as a default low light level because occasionally I shoot at night and I always forget my settings. Here's the key though, and this is one of the major differences. If you go back and look at any of my motovlogging videos within, say, certainly the last month, but say the last 2 months for sure, you'll notice that the look is completely different than what you'll find with any other motovlogging channel. And that is because of two reasons. Number one, I shoot in Protune. Everything I do with the GoPro is shot in Protune mode, and the difference between Protune and regular GoPro mode is dramatic. Your standard GoPro shooting mode that's without Protune is 15 megabits per second of digital storage rate. Protune is 35 megabits per second. It's over double the amount of digital information coming to the camera and being saved to the card, and that means that things like shadows or other immense details are missed by the regular GoPro mode, and it's something that you can get in Protune. The regular GoPro mode, it's 15 megabits per second because it's already compressed. So GoPro does everything for you. It does all of your color correction, your sharpening, your exposure, your white balance, and then it compresses it and then stores it. That's fine if all you're interested in doing is going out, shooting video, coming home, cutting it, and uploading it. That's perfectly fine. The major difference between how I do my content and a lot of other people is I spend a lot of time in post-production color grading my video. So everything I do is shot in Protune. The way I actually do my settings within GoPro in Protune is I use a flat color profile, so the color appears to be very flattened. And the reason why I do that is because it gives me a greater control of contrast, saturation, sharpness, and things like that. So I have a low sharpness setting. I shoot at 1080p, flat color profile, low sharpness. I zero out the exposure for the most part. And those are the basic settings that I use with the GoPro to produce. Like all of my track day videos are shot with Protune with my own color grading setup. So if you use a GoPro, I highly encourage you to shoot in Protune and to start learning how to color grade in post-production if you care about how your stuff looks. So the next thing that I'll talk about is how I shoot vlogs. So all of the moto vlog portion of my channel is shot on the GoPro Hero 3 Plus. And again, I want to emphasize, if you don't know how to use any of this gear, it's completely worthless. So I started out with this as being my main vlogging camera, and this is a Canon PowerShot G7X. This is by far one of the most popular vlogging cameras that exist in YouTube today, and the reason why is very obvious. Number one, it's a point and shoot. It's very compact. It's easy to take with you. It's easy to have on standby. Number two, it shoots very high quality 1080p 24 frame per second video. Number three, it has a flip up screen, which you can see very easily is perfect for vlogging. I can say that all of this is completely separate from post-production. Doing all of your editing and stuff is a completely different beast, and that is going to take you a ton of time. Finally, I want to talk about the drone, because the Phantom 4 has become a very popular addition to the tool belt of many YouTube creators. There are a ton of reviews and there's a ton of in-depth analysis of the Phantom 4, what it does, what it doesn't do. The purposes that I use it for is to bring a different perspective to my vlogs, to bring a perspective that even the people who are participating in whatever it is that we're doing, they don't have that perspective. Up until only a couple of years ago, it would have taken $10,000 to charter a helicopter and a film crew to get that perspective. It was something that wasn't accessible to anyone except the most highly paid professional film creators in the market today. So now, between my Panasonic, my Canon, the GoPro, and the drone, realistically, there isn't a shot that I can't get. It is an incredible piece of technology. It is not a toy. The Phantom 4 is not a toy. If you can't fly the drone, if you can't set up shots, if you can't work the camera, if you can't plan and execute a particular look that you're trying to achieve, this is worthless to you. It's going to be interesting to some people. There are some people out there who are just like, oh my god, drone footage. It doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter how it looks. But if you're trying to be good, if you're trying to use this stuff to its fullest potential, you need to be able to create something that is different, that is unique, and is situational. And it's difficult. It's not easy to fly from the respect of trying to be cinematic and also trying to make sure you keep the craft safe and things like that. The normal flight capabilities of the craft are very great. They're very easy to use. I don't have any complaints about that. I'm simply saying that I see more and more YouTube creators buying the Phantom 4, I think, as almost a gimmick. I encourage you, I implore you to be better than that, to do better than that, to be more creative than that. It's so easy. It's like the easy button of well, I'm just going to buy a drone and I'm just going to take it to downtown Phoenix and I'm just going to fly it around some of the buildings and go, whoa, look at me, look at what I did. Yeah, of course, those perspectives are interesting and unique because, you know, you only get those again with a helicopter, and you're only going to see those in movies. Okay, I get that, but it's so easy to do that. It's almost cheap to do it that way. Try and find ways to do things differently. Try and find ways to be creative, for crying out loud. If you're willing to step your game up, and you're willing to use these tools to their maximum potential, it doesn't matter how many people buy a Phantom 4. It doesn't matter how many of these are flying around YouTube. 99.9% of them are all going to look the same. They're all going to be, look at the city. Well, back to my boring content. Don't invest in these tools unless you have a plan for how to use them, and unless you're willing to really think outside the box, because otherwise your stuff is going to look the same as everybody else's. Or there's a tendency, especially with drone footage, for people to rely heavily on it because everyone gets so mesmerized by it. And so all these channels that I've seen it across multiple channels where like 80% of what they're producing is the same drone footage over and over and over again. I don't discourage anyone from getting one. I simply think that you need to have a plan and you need to have an image or an idea in your head of how you're going to use it, and not just go, well, I'll just get the Phantom 4 and, well, I hope my subscribers love it. So thank you for watching. Comments and questions below. Please go check out Sticker Bombed. This video was inspired because of his comments and his desire to learn, and he's been very, very complimentary and supportive of this channel. Please go check him out. I will link him below. And as always, we'll see you out there.